Welcome to Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz, all by myself this week, by the way. Michelle Grinnell is off on assignment. That just means she's gone today. Enjoying the weekend, let's hope, in Michigan. And I hope you are as well. But we are happy to have you along with us today on the Travel Michigan radio program. Tell you what we're going to do first. We're going to learn about recycling as you travel around the state. Let me introduce you to Kieran O'Brien. She is Executive Director of the Michigan Recycling Coalition. And Kieran, we're thrilled to have you with us today.
Well, thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this important topic.
Well, it really is an important topic. I occasionally do travel out of state to see family and such as well. And, like we always say, we want people to travel in Michigan, but we don't expect them to stay here always. One thing I have noticed in other states, frankly, is that there seems to be a lot more trash on the road in many other states. I think partially the bottle law in Michigan might have helped us and maybe, getting people thinking about recycling and not trashing the roads. So we're going to chat about that a little bit today, give people some tips. So tell us, with your organization, you obviously try to encourage people to recycle.
Most definitely, we encourage people to recycle. We are the statewide association for recycling professionals, and we work to keep our members up to date in the latest, greatest kind of recycling innovations and education. And, we have a campaign ourselves, the Recycle Michigan campaign, that really serves to be a reminder, honestly, that we need to recycle wherever we live, work, and play, because, recycling is an individual action, and it can happen wherever you are and wherever you go. And we're working with the state right now to help communities actually provide those opportunities across the state, because there's not a lot of opportunities throughout Michigan for people to recycle.
Well, we actually have curbside recycling at our house, and I know that's becoming more and more popular all throughout the state. The common things: bottles and cans and plastic and paper and cardboard and all. But is that how most people recycle today, or are they just kind of finding recycling locations in other ways?
Yeah, much of Michigan's population, especially what I call north of the Knuckles, is really very rural in nature. Houses are further apart, and it's harder to get those economies of scale that you can get in more densely populated areas that offer curbside recycling. So many of our rural and sub-rural residents really have to accumulate their recycling in their garages or sheds and take them to drop-off centers. And those drop-off centers are, sometimes 10, 20 miles away, even in some cases, much further. And so that's not very convenient for them. If we can provide, most of our residents with, curbside waste services, why can't we provide them with curbside recycling services as well?
Exactly. I hope we can kind of encourage that all throughout the state. But those kind of regional recycling centers work well for people as, they kind of, collect this, as you mentioned, at the house and, kind of put it together and truck it out there maybe once a month or so. Let's say you're traveling, though. You're traveling around our beautiful state, and you still want to get involved in kind of recycling and making sure things aren't trashed. What do you recommend people do? Are there, is it common to find these like recycling centers as you travel? They aren't easy to find, honestly, but you can, with some quick searches and some planning before you go, to find those drop-off centers, those transfer stations in the more rural areas, or in the the populations of the northern Michigan communities swell as we all go to the lakes and the beaches and the forests. And so we have to work to find those places where you can recycle. And so that's something, recycling is really about planning. And so knowing where you can take that, making sure you have containers or bags in your car so you can take your recyclables. If you don't have that stuff, it kind of gets smelly and difficult to work with, and so you want to plan ahead and do that. Another effective way is when you're shopping for, the foods that you're going to eat on vacation, when you're camping, or the stuff you're going to take with you, think about the packaging your food comes in. In many cases, single-serve items, cans of pop, maybe little applesauce cups, those single-serve containers that can be recycled are very effective when you're traveling. But if you're buying something that is in, a foil package or in plastic film packaging, that stuff can't be recycled, and it becomes waste and it becomes problematic. Little straws in plastic sheaths become a problem. So it's really important to make those decisions and choices when you're at the store, thinking about waste reduction all the time, and making sure you're choosing products with packaging that is recyclable.
That's pretty simple when you think about it in advance. We actually do that. We will actually call around the community where we're going to be visiting, especially in northern Michigan, and if we know it about it in advance, we'll just kind of make those plans and find the center, bring the bags, all that stuff. It works out for us. So, Kieran, appreciate these tips, and I know you can find a lot more tips on your website, so we're going to encourage people to go to your website, which is michiganrecycles.org, and I know you have another website. Is it, recyclemi.org as well. So you have both of those, right? Yeah, very good. So you can go to either of those websites, get some more tips on recycling and some more ideas. And especially as you're traveling around this summer into the fall, think in advance and do your planning. It'll be a lot easier, and you're going to help to clean up the environment. So Kieran O'Brien, Executive Director, Michigan Recycling Coalition, thank you for joining us. That website again is michiganrecycles.org. And appreciate you doing that as you travel around. We're going to find out what's happening at the National Blueberry Festival next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at michigan.org.